Well, welcome this evening. I'm just going to run through a few ground rules for you and for the rest of the crew here. So this is SDPRLCA 2026 Primary Legislative Candidate Survey. As a nonpartisan grassroots organization, SDPRLCA is dedicated to protecting private property rights and maintaining local authority. Following the 2024 general election, where 65 of 66 South Dakota counties voted no on Referred Law 21, voters are eager to hear where the 2027 legislative class stands on these core issues. So, a few of the ground rules for tonight. We'll do an introduction. You'll be limited to a minute and a half. Then we have 5 targeted questions. Your response will be 2 minutes for each question. A closing statement of 2 minutes, and then upon completion of the video survey, you'll just say goodbye and log off.
Okay.
All right. All 5 of the questions will focus specifically on property rights and local control, and you've received those specific set of 5 questions in advance. We are recording tonight, and the recordings will be posted in their entirety on our Facebook page, YouTube channel, and website. So, at this time, I'd like you to introduce yourself to the voters. Please tell us about your background, your connections to your district, and most importantly, what specific conviction or event led you to step forward and run for South Dakota Legislature in 2027. And I forgot to say, this is Donna Olson. She's running for District 19 Senate. And so we have a minute and a half for your introduction.
Okay. Hi. Well, as you stated, I am Donna Olson, and I'm running for State Senate District 19. I spent my life working in the private sector. I raised a family. I owned and operated a small business, and an owner-operator on a farm in Bonham County. And those experiences taught me one simple thing, that the best ideas come from the people here, not from the corporate interests up in Pierre. When I talk to different people through these different endeavors that I've been in, rural voices have been pushed out for too long. We saw that with the carbon pipeline bill and eminent domain that the legislature moved to pass despite clear opposition. And here in District 19, the voters voted over 67% to stop the SB 201. And I was actively involved in that effort to prove that you can protect your private property rights and that we can stop corporate overreach. I believe in a South Dakota where self-reliance and individual rights still mean something. So,
All
and
right.
yeah.
Okay, that's just
And you
about
had one
perfect.
other, and then there was one other question that you had. I'm sorry.
Let's see, what specific conviction or event led you to step forward and run for the South Dakota Legislature in 2026? I think you might have hit that already, and we're just about, and
Okay.
it's time to move on to the next question.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
fine. That's good.
Okay, so now we'll have 2 minutes for each response to these 5 questions. The first one is district specific, so District 19. What do you identify
Mhm.
as the primary property rights issue in your district, and what is your single most serious concern regarding it? That is resource depletion, loss of local control, or unintended consequences.
Um, well, I believe the single most important issue facing District 19 is generally the protection of private property rights, and the abuse of eminent domain, as we saw last year, whether that's regarding the carbon pipeline or other large-scale developments. I just don't feel that we can allow the companies to take the land and for their own profit and at the expense of local owners. This is more than just about land. It's about stopping corporate gain from threatening the control and the future livelihoods of our citizens.
All right, question number 2, action plan. What specific legislative action or policy change would you champion to address this issue?
Well, basically repealing the laws that weaken local oversight directly strengthens the defense against the abuse of eminent domain by ensuring that decisions about the land stay in the hands of the community rather than being dictated by the state level mandates that favor private corporations. And SB 157 is an example of a bill that weakened the ability of neighbors and county boards to oversee of large-scale projects. Over the years, state laws have shifted in favor of corporate interests over local people. My priority is to reverse the trend and to return decision-making authority to the county officials who actually live and understand our community.
All right, let's go to question number 3. Core components. Property rights involve the right to possess, control, exclude, enjoy, and dispose. How is the right to enjoy at risk from state mandates in your district, and how will you protect it?
Well, with the high cost of state requirements, um, they can leave our county short of cash, and that can create a trap where the county might feel forced to approve big corporate developments just to pay the bills to get the money coming in. Unfortunately, these projects often interfere with the neighbor's right to peacefully enjoy their land. I'll work to end these state-imposed burdens so that our local property rights aren't for sale, to just reduce some of the burdens that are put on them.
Okay, question number 4, eminent domain. Under what specific circumstances, if any, do you believe eminent domain should be used for projects owned by private corporations?
Um, well, this should be a no-brainer for anyone who puts private property rights above corporate interests. So it would be a hard no from me, from our district, and according to the South Dakota Constitution. Simple.
Yep. All right, number 5. So this is our fifth and final question. Local control. Describe a scenario in which local control is not enough protection.
When local control is blocked by state level top-down mandates, citizens and leaders must look towards other layers of protection to defend property rights and stop the use of eminent domain for private gain. This is when being a community movement is important to help build coalitions like the SDPRLCA and to educate and ensure neighbors understand that being a good neighbor means protecting each other's property rights from outside interests. And yep, that's basically it. And I was just going to add that as a senator, I won't waver with protecting private property rights. That's first and foremost. And then, of course, freedom of speech, the Second Amendment, and the right to life in addition. So,
All right. Well, as we close, as we head toward the June 2nd primary, it's vital that voters know how to reach their potential representatives. For our final 2 minutes, please let the folks in District 19 know how they can contact you directly, where they can pick up a sign to show support, how they can join your team as a volunteer, or how to give donations or just help in any way. So you've got 2 minutes.
well, I probably won't take up that much time, but they can go to my website at DonnaOlsonForSenate.com, and they can volunteer, donate there, either way. They can also reach out through email. I believe there's an option on the website, or just go to DonnaOlsonForSenate@gmail.com. And I check my email multiple times throughout the day. I'd be happy to answer any questions. And yeah, just would really love to see people get involved and understand what's going on, and that every vote matters.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you for, giving us your time this evening. We really appreciate it.